nobody believed they would make it. Before the season was even halfway through, football experts had already written them off. Fans feared the worst, rivals expected them to disappear, and every new setback seemed to confirm that their fate was sealed. But what happened next became one of football's greatest stories of resilience. A team that everyone expected to collapse somehow found the strength to fight back, proving that belief can sometimes achieve what money and talent alone cannot. Welcome back to GameBlueprint. Today, we're looking at the incredible journey of a team that nobody thought would survive. Football history is filled with legendary champions and record-breaking players, but sometimes the most unforgettable stories come from clubs simply fighting to stay alive. This wasn't just about winning matches. It was about protecting a club, a community, and a dream that generations of supporters refused to let die. The season started with hope, but that hope disappeared quickly. Poor performances, disappointing results, and growing pressure pushed the club into a dangerous position. Every week brought another defeat, and confidence inside the squad reached its lowest point. Journalists questioned the manager, fans worried about the future, and many believed relegation was only a matter of time. Some even wondered whether the club could recover financially if things continued to get worse. For the supporters, this club meant far more than football. Families had followed the team for generations. Weekend matches were part of their lives, and the stadium felt like a second home. Watching their beloved club struggle was heartbreaking, but despite everything, thousands of fans continued showing up every match day, hoping that somehow things would change. Inside the dressing room, the atmosphere was completely different from what people imagined. Instead of giving up, the players became closer than ever. Senior players encouraged the younger ones, and every training session was approached with greater intensity. The manager reminded everyone that difficult moments reveal true character. Those words slowly began changing the team's mentality. But that was only the beginning. Instead of trying to play attractive football, the coaching staff focused on discipline and teamwork. Every player knew their role. Defenders stayed organized, midfielders worked tirelessly, and forwards pressed relentlessly. The team stopped worrying about entertaining people and started concentrating on collecting points however they could. Then came the match that changed everything. Facing one of the strongest teams in the league, almost nobody gave them a chance. The opponents dominated possession, but the underdogs defended with incredible determination. Every block, every tackle, and every save increased their belief. Late in the second half, they launched a quick counterattack and scored the only goal of the game. The final whistle brought scenes of pure celebration. It wasn't just a victory. It was proof that they were still alive. What happened next changed everything. Confidence spread through the squad almost overnight. Players who had looked nervous suddenly played with freedom. Simple passes became easier, communication improved, and every positive result strengthened their belief. The dressing room that once felt full of fear was now filled with hope. However, the story didn't end there. Just when everything seemed to be improving, injuries struck several key players. The team entered one of the toughest parts of the season without some of its most experienced stars. Once again, critics predicted the dream was over. But nobody saw this coming. Young academy players stepped into the starting lineup and played without fear. They weren't famous, and they lacked experience, but they had something even more valuable. They had the hunger to prove themselves. Match after match, they delivered performances that surprised everyone. The manager also deserves enormous credit. Rather than changing his philosophy after every setback, he trusted the system. Against stronger opponents, the team defended patiently and attacked quickly on the counter. Against direct rivals, they pressed higher and forced mistakes. Every tactical decision had a purpose, and the players believed in the plan completely. The statistics slowly reflected their improvement. They conceded fewer goals, created more chances, and became one of the hardest teams to break down. They rarely dominated possession, but they didn't need to. Their strength came from organization, hard work, and making every opportunity count. One of the biggest reasons behind the turnaround was the supporters. Instead of turning against the team during difficult moments, they stood behind them. Every home game became an incredible display of passion. The noise inside the stadium lifted the players whenever they looked tired. Football is often decided by talent, but sometimes belief from the stands can inspire performances nobody expects. As the season entered its final weeks, every match felt like a final. The league table was incredibly tight, and just a few points separated several clubs fighting for survival. Every mistake could be costly, while every victory could completely change the standings. Things were about to get even worse. During one crucial game, the team conceded an